simply because everyone has believed for however long that Newton's laws of physics were correct. They're not. This time it's simple. Anyone can buy the stuff. Your wife could go down and get the stuff for you. A 16-year-old could build it. You'll get to see a video of it running, and you'll get to see a video of every single component, so that right down to the millimetre you can reproduce it. This one's not designed, to what you'll see is not designed to run. Well, you could put a rotor in it and create a smaller amount of electricity for lights or whatever, but the point is just to show you that it works, to show you that you can build a magnetic drive, and that the value of oil and coal and that basically is worthless, with the exception of probably Libyan oil, because it's better quality. So for those things that still use oil, it would be very limited. What it will do is it will take the prices of everything down to what they were about 20 years ago. In the case of energy, it's rather simple. For a couple of $1 million you can get a president assassinated. For a couple of $1 billion you can get a small country invaded. For several $1 trillion per year, not once, how far do you think they'll go? But this one here is just to show you the principle of the fact that it does work. Newton's law says that if whatever energy it takes to lift something is the energy creates when it falls, and that's actually false. A 6-year-old can prove this wrong. Take a bicycle wheel, place a 5-cent coin just past 12 o'clock, let it go, it will swing around down through 1 metre up to about 90 centimetres. Gee, it's only getting 90% out because it's 90 centimetres up that way, but it's still got to come back. So even as soon as it starts to swing back the first 10 centimetres, there's 100%, 110, 120, 130 and so on. I mean, the bicycle wheel proves beyond doubt that anything to do with a gravity drive, I mean, NASA even admits to it for slingshotting around planets. I mean, you wouldn't slingshot around a planet if there wasn't a gain. And anything that's a gravity drive that passes past the face of the planet does exactly the same thing. So what you'll get to see is a machine that we built 3 years ago, and we've rebuilt it again a little bit neater this time, but simplistically enough that anybody can go and do it. Won't run your house, or it won't run anything. This machine is just to prove that it can actually be done. Magnets will lift each other. The problem with it, when it lifts it, it can't release itself, and that was the problem. There's a lot of magnetic tracks which will fire a magnet, they're called SMOTs, in at a high speed, but they can't get out of the wall at the end. The more powerful the driver is, the more powerful the wall is at the end. So it can run something within it, but it can't get back to, you can't get back to the start point. A tri-gate will run through the end, but it can't bring itself back around. Anything powerful enough, well, the only thing powerful enough to get past 45 was the Mayernick array, which, thanks to Mayernick, who convinced everybody else to help me fund the original design of it, which is why it was called the Mayernick array. We not only got past the 45, but we were able to take the driver up and over past the 90-degree mark and back down again. A lot of guys worked on it for years. You'll find videos of it all over YouTube that they couldn't get out of the wall. I was successfully able to break the wall, but some government arsewipe, messed with the video and made it look like my hand flicked it. So we've made it so that you can see clearly that it's moved in, self-starts, goes through the system and out the other side, which is, by the law of physics, impossible, because anything strong enough to propel a magnet will hold itself within its field. We've proven that wrong. So if the magnet can propel itself without being held inside the field, you have free energy. That's your line of science. Basically anything that can lift itself up, put itself down and not be trapped within the field is something that's propelling itself without being caught and able to self-start again, or you can just put a rotor inside it, whatever. So at the end of the day, the decision was to redo it. I used a third-party builder, Jack Powell, 20 years old, never worked with magnets in his life, was able to build the whole thing. I instructed him on it, and was able to get it to operational. And we did that within 2 days of me not having done it for nearly 3 years. So that's the videos you'll get to see. Okay, anyone can go out and make these things. Most good guys will work out how to build larger versions of it. This is a reproduction of the Mayernick track, just to show that a device can propel itself in and out the other side. A lot of people, when I did the first track, saw me let it go like that, and a lot of people said that I flicked it. This is just to show that it will self-feed in without any push whatsoever, and will break the wall coming out. Now, this wall is supposed to be impossible to break if they're sufficient to actually get it in. Basically, the bottom line in physics says that if this is Earth, Right, this is your ground level, and no device can actually lift itself up and put itself back down without being caught inside the magnetic loop, which the Mayernick proved absolutely false, showing that you can put a rotor in here and the rotor will actually rotate to generate an electrical device. So we bring it in slowly, 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 and out, showing that there is no wall because of the way that we've bled out the outside of the track. And yeah, basically with the rotor, yeah, there is a great advantage in the fact that you're looking at about a 25% friction drag, simply because it's just a massive drive. Where the fuck is my roller gone?
In your pocket.
Okay. This is just to show you that it is a magnetic gravity drive. This is just a single roller without the weights. And we'll bring that in and we'll show you what happens without the gravity effect. It shoots around, very powerful, but of course it can't come out because it doesn't have the additional weights of the ball bearings. So yeah, that's it, and we'll give you the rest of the dimensions shortly. Okay, stop. Okay, this is the Mayernick so that you can see the configuration of it, so that it can be completely reconstructed by any person. You'll see down here that the magnets bleed out and away from the track, not the gaps don't get bigger, you actually have to bleed out and away. That was an input we got from a guy known only as Batman, who made films of it, and he did it on a flat surface. He wasn't able to build it with a climb, but we used the same technique to get away from, so that the field, the size of the field was still there to pull the roller in, but once it got into that field there, because it was so far out, the weight of the bearing was sufficient to drop it off. And what we'll do is we'll put this out flat. You can see that each one of the rows is configured of 7 cylindrical magnets, starting with 3 rows of singles, 3 rows of 2, 1 row of 3, 4, 4. This is a row of 2 with a risen row of 1, only because we had a larger block in here which was just a little bit too high a grab, so we pulled the block out and made this configuration. 4, 3, 2, and then it just goes 1, up 1, up 1, up 1 like stairs, so that the bleed is out, not separated. These are about 8mm quad. Okay, so we'll take it from there and we'll measure. Length of the track is 90 centimetres, or 35 and just under half an inch. The width, as you can see, is 85mm, or 3.5 inches. The overlap line is about 65mm. The centre of the drivers are, as you can see, 20mm squares, and your driver there has 2 of these 20mm squares with 25mm steel ball bearings. The magnets used to make up the runner track are 12mm long by 10mm across the front. This is a reproduction of the Mayernick array. Okay, the world's first self-propelling SMOT, which shows that you can actually get a magnetic device to propel itself up and through a running track and exit the mythical wall. We've done that with stepping, which we'll show you afterwards, but the original video of this I'd done with my hand, and as I pulled my hand out, everyone thought that I flicked it, so we're going to do it without that, just so that everyone can know 100% that it was realistic and it was accurate. Okay, don't take too long, you know where it starts, so just push it up there, and when it gets close, go slow.
Fucking spot. Heavy fucker.
Okay.